Welcome to the Two Fun Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brent Ruska.
And I'm your co-pilot, Tony Haddad.
We're here back with another solo episode. I think we're almost on episode 20. And it was just like, 6 months ago, we were just making the logo for this show in San Diego.
Yeah, time really flies. And it's funny because I think only 1% of podcasts ever make it to episode 20. So we're technically
amazing.
Top 1% of podcasts.
Yeah. And if you hate them so far, we also don't know what the fuck we're doing. So we're just figuring out as we go. If you have any suggestions for guests you want to see, you can always DM us at Two Fun Guys Podcast. And we really appreciate a review. So if you guys want to leave a review on Apple or Spotify, also subscribe on YouTube. We super appreciate it. Yeah. I figured this episode would just give them an update about business stuff because last time shit was kind of crazy. And, part of the podcast is just telling people about the journey to success because we're too dumb to stop and we're just going to keep going.
That's the motto, the Two Fun Guys motto, too dumb to stop.
Yeah.
Well, here's an idea. Before we jump into that, I feel like in honor of episode 20, we should name our listeners. Like every cool podcast has a name they give their listeners. Like, what are they?
Yeah.
What are they? Spores? We're the fun guys? Are they our spores?
Spores? They could be called the fun guys and gals.
Fun guys and gals?
Fun guys and gals.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Leave in the comments or send us a message. Let us know if that resonates with you guys. You want to be fun guys, fun gals, spores? Spores sounds pretty gross. But
these are spories.
Yeah, go ahead.
I dig it. And you're wearing fucking Chinese New Year stuff.
The technical term, Brent, is an aozai.
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 All right, teach us. Let's education portion of the episode.
Absolutely. Well, fun fact, I look about as Arab as they come, but I'm about 30% Vietnamese. Most people don't know that. So my mom is the sweetest little Vietnamese lady of all time, and she sends me traditional Vietnamese clothing and always a red envelope on Chinese New Year. Yeah. And you saw the package, a little care package that she sent to the house.
Yeah.
It's like a golden dragon and a statue of Buddha and all that fun stuff. So we're ready for the Year of the Dragon, which is this year coming up. Yeah, it's the Year of the Dragon, hence the dragon necklace that I wear.
Nice.
And this is a year of apparently things coming together. So the last 2 years have been very tumultuous for a lot of people. And it's a time of it wasn't very good traction over the last 2 years, but the Year of the Dragon should, according to Chinese astrology, be a much more easeful year.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. What COVID was like 2020 to 2022, and then just 2 years of people trying to get back on top. And then I don't know. So far for us in our business, it feels like we're getting traction finally.
Finally,
yeah.
All because of the dragon.
All because of the dragon.
Thank you, dragon.
Yeah. Is that all the dragon represents? It's just kind of things coming together? Does it have other symbols?
That is the extent of my knowledge.
And that's the end of the education portion.
That's it. I do not claim to be an expert. All I know is what my mom texts me.
Yeah. When we did the solo episode, had you already started working at closers.io?
I was in the process of starting to work. I hadn't started yet. I was in like the I guess interviewing process.
Yeah. Talk about what that's like, because that's a huge company, right?
It's not a huge company.
I mean, but they do crazy sales, yeah.
Crazy things. I mean, we did about 50 million last year, which in the scope of like business is not huge. This is like small to medium sized company. But
big
we
clients.
we are like the category king in the space of online sales. So if anybody sells anything online, like a coaching program or like some kind of service online or anything like that, you know who closers.io is.
Yeah. And your job is account manager.
Correct. So what we do essentially is people come into a program. We have a ton of resources for them to learn how to create their offer, run their ads, sell their product. At the core of it, we're a sales-based company. Like originally, like we have a whole other section of the company that's all sales training. So my background is in sales, right? And so when people come into the program, we can show them step by step how to, create your offer. Say you're good at something. Say you want to build you're a fantastic personal trainer. Say you wanted to build an online brand. Great. Let's figure out how to niche down for you. Who are you actually serving? How do you then create ad copy and a VSL script and all these things to build a brand online? And then how do you market that? How do you sell your product? How do you run the delivery? Because eventually you have 100 clients. How do you handle all that? So then what is the back end process for sustaining a client base like that? And so we can take a business from virtually nothing, from just an idea, to we've had businesses go from $0 to multiple millions per month, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you help people build courses?
Yeah, to a degree. I like to be clear because some people come in and they think, oh, you're going to run all my ads and you're going to build my course. No, we have a bunch of templates for you and we'll help you and guide you. But at the end of the day, it's your business.
Yeah.
So my job is to really guide you through the process, but you have to do the work.
What do you think people are doing wrong in sales funnels? Or like
How much time do we have now?
We got time. Like when you interview people and you're like, oh, this guy's going to fucking crush it. And then this guy's not going to crush it. Like,
You know
what
what
are
the difference
signs?
is?
Yeah.
The difference, it's not even like a tactical thing. It's not, oh, you weren't bidding enough on your ads, which is a part of it. But I can tell when I do an onboarding call with somebody who's going to be successful and who isn't, or at least who has better odds. And the big thing is speed, the speed in which they implement the instruction and the process.
That's interesting.
And like one of our mentors, Kevin, says, speed solves most problems. And that's really it. Like give you two clients. I won't name names, but one, they both came in with pretty much nothing. They had an idea. They both are doing marketing, like social media marketing. And one came in and it's a team of like two guys, came in, had pretty much nothing. I gave them their next steps. Like, here's what you got to do. Here's the trainings to go through. Here's the templates to fill out. Send this back to me. Like, let's get rolling. They're already in the last, since the beginning of February is when they started running their ads. They've already collected and sold $29,000 in contract value, and they collected 100% of it up front. So in like, what has it been, 10 days?
Wow.
They did that. And then I have other clients who lollygag and take their time and they get stuck on little decisions instead of just like, okay, that's what I'm going to do and move forward. Mm-hmm. They get stuck on these little things and then they get in their head and they start to burn out and turn their wheels too much on something that they could have figured out earlier. And so my job is to help them through that process also. And so it really comes down to how fast they can take instruction and implement and not get stuck on, inconsequential things and innocuous topics.
I think that's a common misbelief that you need to be smart and well-educated to be a successful entrepreneur. And the more we interview people and the more we do it ourselves, it's like, no, you can be fucking dumb as rocks as long as you just keep taking action and course correct or get people around you that can help you figure it out and just keep going.
100%. You definitely don't have to be smart. I know a lot of people who are not super smart and they're very successful.
And running Amazon, I feel super dumb every day. I feel constantly dumb. And I think the other misconception is as an entrepreneur, you should know how to do everything. It's like everyone has like a wheelhouse they're good at. And then there's 6 other wheelhouses you're just not going to be good at.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Your first hire should be the opposite of you. Like if you're good at sales and marketing and getting out in front of people, the first person you hire should probably be someone who can run books and run fulfillment. And if you're the nerd that likes to do the back end stuff, then you should probably hire someone who can go sell.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem is if 2 people are good at the same thing, then you're trying to compete for the same job.
Yeah, it's pointless. We're in the process of we're trying to find a good VA because we keep running into stuff with our Amazon store that just takes so much time. Because a little breakdown on how Amazon works. On the back end of Amazon in your stores, when you're trying to set up things or you're trying to merge one listing to another listing, or for example, we've lost inventory. We have
a ton of lost inventory that Amazon just misplaced, which is crazy.
And it was on one of our accounts, the listing that was doing the most sales and crushing it.
Yeah. It was our top listing and Amazon's like, hey, those 500 packages? I don't know where they are.
Yeah. And the amount of phone calls and they just keep sending us emails back. You need to go find this thing. You need to go find that thing. And even when you give them what they want, they just come up with some other reason. And so it's just a matter of being relentless. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, for no reason, something will click. You're like,
you know what clicks? The year of the dragon.
Exactly.
That's why it clicks.
Well, we got good news though. We had a listing that was hijacked for the last 4 months. Mm-hmm. Couldn't sell nothing. And we relentlessly emailed all kinds of people deep within the Amazon, I don't know.
Sphere.
Yeah. And finally we wrote Better Business Bureau a letter and we got a little email from Amazon Outreach. We would like to have a conversation with you. We noticed
we've received your multiple emails and your complaint from the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah. And we got on the call and just something we realized is you just have to you can't back down. A lot of times when they say they can't do something, it's just not true.
Yeah.
It's just not true. You just have to keep coming at it in different angles and being really pushy. Yeah, you can't be timid. Like the more we do this, the more I just have no, bandwidth for bullshit.
Yeah, you get a hard shell dealing with this shit, and you just become tempered to the chaos that they throw at you.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Successful entrepreneurs, and you always hear them talk, and when they give motivational talks, they always mention like not giving up. And that's the big thing. It's like, oh, just don't give up. Just keep going. And you think about it and it makes sense. Of course, don't give up. But I think what people don't really comprehend is the difficulty in not giving up when you're uncertain. Because you can stay persistent if you know the outcome. That's easy.
Yeah.
But it's what gets you is the uncertainty.
No,
like, is this going to actually work? Am I just digging deeper and deeper and not getting anywhere? That's where persistence comes into play. Is like you have to mix persistence with faith. You can't have just persistence because you're going to fucking lose your mind.
Yeah, I feel a lot of that today, especially this morning. I was like, most times with our Amazon business, I can see the outcome. But today, I just feel like I don't see how this is going to work. Like I'm just like having a meltdown. But it actually reminded me of being a trainer for like almost 20 years. I've had that same feeling so many times where like I've been a trainer and I'm just like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I don't see, like, I just can't see.
What was that? Was it just like a burnout feeling?
Yeah, burnout plus like I just can't get, I mean, there was one time when I moved back to Bellevue and there was no studios to train people. I couldn't get any clients. I couldn't figure out what to do. So I just started going on these like 2-3 hour long walks because I just didn't know what to do. And then eventually and there were so many times along the journey, I just wanted to quit because it's like a mix of burnout, a mix of, I don't know how I'm going to make more money. I can't find clients or whatever it is. And you're just like, the vision, there's no, like, you can't see it becoming successful. And then you like have to push through that. And usually it's a phase of you just feel shitty for a while, but you're not going to give up. And then it kind of like, you kind of reset. It's just like this weird emotional cycle.
Yeah, you have to go through a loop of self-destruction and hatred, and then you pop out the other end.
Find somebody to go complain to for a while, get super pissed off. I don't know, it was like a quote or a movie. It's like you got 10 minutes or you got a day to just fucking be angry about it. Just be pissed and then just fucking move on. It's like
you're allowed to be as angry and frustrated and you can bitch. I think it's like the 3-minute bitch rule or something.
Yeah.
You can bitch for 3 minutes and then after that you got to get back to bed.
I need like a day, but like then it's like I'm not going to quit. So and then all of a sudden you get that, like, you get revitalized and you're like, all right, here we go again. Because if you do give up, when you think about that, that's worse.
Oh yeah.
That's worse. To be like, because then there's no way to, like, if we were to decide I'm not going to do this anymore, that feeling eating at me would be way worse of a feeling.
100%. Yeah. The pain of regret is worse than anything else.
Yeah. And that's a good, like, just visualize that. And you're just like, okay, yeah, just do whatever you got to do. Go take a day off, chill, unplug from your phone. Just, Yeah.
Vacations are very important.
And we're just like in a phase where we don't have a lot of alleviation from a lot. Like, you're working a shit ton. I'm doing Amazon stuff. I'm training, growing that. Then we're podcasting, right? It's like middle of winter, so it's not that like nice out. We also don't have a bunch of money. Any money we get, we put it into the business, so we don't really do anything fucking fun. And then we're trying to work out and maintain.
I know, dude. Yeah. The only time we're not working during the day is when we're at the gym, which is also work.
Yeah, or if I'm in a nap.
Or if you're in a nap. Or at a podcast, which is also work.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to somebody recently, and they're like, oh, so you're busy, huh? And I was like, yeah, I guess you could say that. And then they asked me like about my day, and I described sort of like wake up to go to bed. And as I'm talking about the things I'm doing, I was like, holy shit, there is zero rest in any of that. It's like wake up.
Yeah.
I listen to, like, I go outside. My only respite is in the morning. I go for a walk, but I'm usually listening to like an audiobook. So I'm still learning. My brain is on. And then I work all day, and then I have lunch. And then on lunch, I talk to you about whatever chaos is going on in Amazon, because I can hear you downstairs going, fuck. So I go downstairs, we work on that while I eat, go back upstairs, work another like 5 hours. And then we immediately rush off to the gym. We go work out, come home, and we're taking peptides. And so you can't, peptide rule, if you're taking certain growth hormone peptides, you cannot eat within 2 hours of it. So I have to scarf down my food as fast as possible. And then so I can go to bed at a reasonable time, because I'll take the peptides before bed. And then Like that's your whole day. And then you go to sleep and you wake up and you do it again.
Yep.
And I like described this whole thing and I was like, damn, there's no break in there at all.
Yeah. And you don't get paid time off.
I do. I just have.
Oh, dude. Nice.
Well, it's not paid time off, but I get paid on like the accounts I manage. So I'm still managing the accounts even if I'm not working. So I'll still collect a paycheck on them. I'll be paid, but I don't get paid by the hour. So it's
different. And my downtime, the only downtime I usually is just scrolling people dying on Instagram.
Dude, we got to talk about that. How the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, remember you used to have to go to, what was the website?
Rotten.com.
Rotten.com or like the subreddit Watch People Die. Mm-hmm. You used to have to go to like the seediest parts of the internet to find footage of people just dying.
Corpses.
And that was crazy. Remember when you're like 14, you're like watching videos like, oh my God.
There wasn't even a ton of it. There was just like, they post new ones every month or so, but it wasn't like a ton.
Yeah, but it was such a treat to like a teenager boy's brain to go see somebody die because it was so out of this world.
Yeah.
And now it's just on Instagram, in your face. Every 10 minutes.
Yeah, you'll get the reel and it will say, sensitive content. Do you want to continue?
And I always continue because I have to know.
Yeah, you're going to go. And then two things. I definitely never going to drive a motorcycle, even though that's my dream. But the amount of people I've seen just explode or get hit. That one video where the guy literally hit something and he's planted in the front of the truck upright.
Oh, dude. That was like a cartoon scene. There was an indent of the dude in the truck.
Yeah. And then the other one where he flies straight into the wall and his head hits a corner and literally pops like a watermelon.
Yeah, you can see the blood just explode out of his helmet.
And then in addition, you have all the gun violence and it makes you think like now when I'm walking around the street or in a Quickie Mart, I'm like, who's got a gun? If anything, it makes me much more aware.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And it's funny, there was this girl I follow. It's the person Tom Segura brought up. It's the one that's like heavyweight barista, and then like people leave all those mean comments like hate from Germany, hate from like whatever. And I left a really nice comment. I was like, don't let anybody like hurt your feelings, blah blah blah. And like Instagram won't let me post it. They took it down 2 times, and I rechanged it. Yet you can show someone like I saw a video of a chick being raped at knife point, and a cop coming out and gunning this guy down with an entire clip, and then changes the clip. And I can't say like, hey, keep your head up because I said maybe the word like, don't fucking like let people get to you. It doesn't make any sense.
How dare you inspire someone, Brent?
It doesn't make any sense.
That's crazy.
It makes no sense. I think the reason I was thinking about it, it's maybe how they're trying to compete with TikTok because I don't think TikTok you don't see any of that on TikTok. So I think Instagram's like, how the fuck are we gonna get people here? We're just like, what? Fuck it, just let that shit slide.
Can you imagine the board meeting at Meta? All right, guys, TikTok's taking over. We need to come up with an angle.
Yeah.
And then one intern is like, guys, I got it.
Yeah.
We just show people getting murdered.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
Yeah. I mean, shit, it keeps me on there for sure. But then, then you have crazy dreams at night.
Dude, I had the most brutal dream. I'm not going to get into it. But I will tell you my conspiracy theory as to why Instagram is allowing all of this. All right, we're going to go deep, fellow spores. So Instagram wants you to see horrendous shit and to get used to horrendous shit. But what do they like to do? They like to suppress your speech. They don't want you to say certain things. I can't comment the word dead. I can't say the word, I shouldn't even say it here, DEAD. I can't say the word COVID. I can't say certain words like that because Instagram will take it down. But you can show me the most heinous things.
Yeah.
So what is that? Getting people used to seeing horrendous stuff and poisoning our minds with it, but you're not allowed to talk about it. Suppress the speech. You take away people's speech, you take away their power. You take away their words, you take away their power.
It's kind of very similar.
It's very like North Korea. It's like you're going to live in squalor and you're not going to be able to say anything about it.
Well, it's very communist, and it's very like they did with COVID. Like put a bunch of fear into people, but then now you're not allowed to question anything other than what we tell you.
Exactly.
Right? One person's comment I read was, is Instagram preparing us for war? I thought it was the funniest shit. I was like, I don't know, maybe, bro.
I think so. Yeah. The funny thing is, it's war on you.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Yeah, it's not good. I definitely it's put all that shit in your mind is not good for your mind.
No. But I'm still going to watch it because it releases a lot of dopamine for some reason to watch some kind of motorcycle hit a car, fall over, and then get run over by a semi-truck. For some reason, I enjoy watching it. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. They're like approve in Instagram. They're like, that one's okay.
Yeah.
That one's okay.
But then women can just pretend to have sex on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's also my feed. It's like all my suggested reels is just women pretending like they're in porn.
Yeah, and then we posted one clip of a gal that was just talking about tying people up and the benefits of releasing emotional trauma, and they're like, no, you can't post that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, listen, you can only watch like fake porn here on Instagram, but you're not allowed to learn about ancient Japanese tradition. That's not okay. No educational content on that.
No, it's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bananas.
And then we went to Miami. We got some dope shirts.
Yeah, tell us about that cool shirt you got.
Mushroom shirt. It's got a llama.
It's very Alice in Wonderland on it.
Yeah, we got mushrooms going. We got 2 llama shirts that are dope.
Yeah, so the mascot for this podcast, you guys, is you would think it's a mushroom. It's actually a llama. And there's a backstory behind that, which we'll get into later. But this store was called the Baja Llama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they had a lot of llama attire in the store and mushroom attire.
Yeah, we went out to FBA Boss, had a mastermind out there in Miami. What was the district? Windward or Wareward?
I could tell you, but I like your guesses. So I'm going to let you keep going.
Squidward,
yeah, in Squidward, Miami. Wynwood.
That's a dope spot. Super artsy, cool. It was one of the best masterminds we've been to so far. Mm-hmm. It's good to go to masterminds and just be around people that are doing entrepreneurial shit, because
why is that?
Being an entrepreneur is fucking tough, and it's lonely, and it's good to get the juice. You need the juice. Mm-hmm. Like, you need the juice. You need to like revitalize yourself to keep pushing forward, because it's a slog a lot of the times. Yeah. And it's cathartic to like get around people and be like, oh fuck, I'm dealing with this. And it like kind of like it's like a release. Mm-hmm. And then you're like remotivated and like, all right, we're in this together, instead of like just by yourself doing it. And you're like, this is never going to end. Yeah, it feels like you're in the shoe or some shit. You're like, it's never going to end. I'm never getting out.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be near people that are just slightly ahead of you because they've gone through the same shit. Yeah. Sometimes if they're too far ahead, it's almost like there's too much distance and it's hard to relate. But people who are just like 1, maybe 2 steps ahead of you, you're like, oh, cool. Like they were just where I'm at. And it really lets the steam out when you can complain a little bit about what you're going through, and then they empathize.
That's why I think interviewing people that are not hyper successful or just like sometimes normal everyday people is more beneficial and interesting than sometimes just, some podcasts, they're just constantly just trying to get the real, like just a lineup of like the big hitters or the people on the circuit. It's just like, yeah, like, bro, like you made success and now you can probably say anything you want to preach about being successful, right? Anything can come out of your mouth. And I feel like a lot of those guys sometimes forget. They forget. And I could see how that could happen. Like say we're 5 years from now and if you're making like, hundreds of thousands a month, it's like you could forget like where you came from. Totally. And that's why it's good to talk about it while we're going through it. Yeah. So it's like you really remember.
Good reminder. Yeah. If our egos ever get too big, then one of us will just play one of these episodes back for us. Like, don't you forget where you came from, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. It's like a live journal is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good reflector.
Otherwise you become Wes Watson.
Yeah. Which he's got some good shit, but the internet's tearing his ass up.
Yeah, I love his motivational videos, honestly. Like
his old school ones are really good.
Yeah, they're hard, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just getting destroyed.
Yeah, people are releasing like videos of him on coaching calls, being like, you stupid bitch.
His blood is 90% Tren. So he's just going off on people.
Remember Ren and Stimpy? Was it Stimpy would be like, Ren! or was it Ren? I don't know. And he just like they do the zoom ins and the veins are like fucking popping.
That's Wes Watson. Who almost came on this podcast, in fact, and then all of the shit came out on the internet. We're like, all right, we don't need to bring him on here.
Yeah, we're just maybe find somebody else.
Yeah. We don't need him to yell at us on the podcast.
To tell us we're fucking idiots.
Yeah. We know we're idiots, Wes. We don't need you to tell us. Thank you very much.
I don't need to pay $10,000 to come on my podcast and make fun of me.
Yeah. He folded immediately, though. He was like, hey, it's $10,000 to have me on as a guest. I was like, cool, we charge our guest $10,000. He was like, okay, great. Where do we record? Not gonna counter offer or anything.
Yeah, we do want to. I wish we could have recorded in Miami, but we'll go back to Miami. There's a bunch of cool people.
Yeah,
we met your homie, Big Tony Robbins sales dude. Yeah,
Eli Wild, cool dude.
Yeah, super cool dude. We definitely want to get him on the podcast. He's just a wealth of knowledge. The guy is fucking mad scientist when it comes to breaking down fucking sales and copy and emotion. It's just like, yeah, it's like mesmerizing when he talks about it.
Yeah, totally. He goes deep down the rabbit hole. What were your favorite parts of Miami? Because that was your first time in Miami. What did you did Miami like live up to your expectations, or was it different than what you anticipated?
I didn't have any expectation. People always say it's like a dirty city, which it is, but I think
we'll stop there. Miami's dirty,
but it's cool that it's dirty. It's like, I don't know, like I imagine Dubai, like they say, it's super clean and kind of sterile. The dirtiness kind of feels like it's a city inside of a jungle a little bit, and it just has this like, because you have so many like Cubans and Colombians and just, you know, that culture. I don't know. It has a really interesting energy to it. Like we're out there eating fucking.
It has a little salsa to it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of gorgeous women. Let me tell you.
It does have a lot of gorgeous women.
But I would never want to live there like long term. It's just too much driving for me. Austin's still like great to like get around and chill, but I mean, if you were out there for a couple months, the networking you could do, the people you could meet, the shit you could do, super artsy, art everywhere. That's super dope. Great places to eat. And then the ocean's nice to be able to like get into that.
The irony is when you move to the ocean, I feel like you don't go to the ocean.
No.
I have so many friends that moved to Miami or California, and they're like, oh, I haven't even been to the ocean since I moved here.
Yeah. Same shit happens when people go to the Northwest. And I'm going to hike all the time. And you go on like 2 hikes a year.
Because you don't realize that hiking actually sucks. Until you do it, you're like
muddy all the time.
People like this?
It's muddy. You got to drive way the fuck out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about going uphill is used as an analogy for things that suck. And that's the entire sport, is just going uphill.
Yeah. And then the downhill is just like blasting your knees open as you're like fatigued. Because that's what people don't tell you. It's like maybe you get to the top, but if your leg muscles are fucked on the way down, you're just like, you're just eating fucking like joints the whole time.
I've had multiple friends hurt themselves on a hike, and then we have to like carry them down because they just were not prepared.
Yeah. One time,
roll their ankles when you run downhill, which is the best part of a hike.
Oh, yeah.
Sprinting down.
Oh, yeah. I did that one time in, was it Arizona? What is that like main climb?
Camelback?
Yeah. And like you see people fucking sprint down it like goats. Yeah. That's a cool hike. I had a client one time when I was like 23, this older lady, super cool. She like fell down a mountain when she was super young. And she came in and she wanted to like train. She could barely like lift her feet up. So she'd always catch her feet when she'd walk, like happens to old people.
Oh, yeah.
And we trained her. This is the time though, I didn't really have a training philosophy or really know how to like I worked at places where they gave you kind of like a template and protocol how to train people. So I didn't really know actually how to figure out what exercises and what to do to get someone stronger. So I kind of got her stronger, and her dream was to go hike Tiger Mountains in Washington, I think. And I think there's like 2 trails, right? There's like a longer one or shorter one, or maybe that's mountainside. There's like in one of those mountains, there's always like a long trail and a short trail.
Yeah, Mount Si has a big side and little side.
Yeah, so one of those mountains I took her and we went to the top, and we got all the way to the top, and then on the way down, her muscles just fucking gave out. And it was like so nerve-wracking because I'm like, what did I do? Took this old woman up this fucking mountain. And she's coming down, and every like 2 steps, she literally collapsed and fall on the ground. And this woman was like, don't worry, I got it. I'm going to do it.
What a beast.
Yeah. And for like 3 hours, we're just like walk couple steps, falls, walk couple steps, falls, fatigue, and just her mental strength. And then she got home. She like messaged me the day later. She's like, I'm so sore. Because imagine, it takes you that long and your muscles are already done.
And you're 90 years old.
Yeah. And she was like, it was the greatest experience of my life. Or like, it was just like she got to relive something she liked to do, like hiking in Europe.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Wow. That was a good one. And then we did a DEXA scan recently. Shout out to Body Spec.
Shout out Body Spec.
Right across here from Record ATX. Shout out to Record ATX. Grant,
Mike, and Bryce and Claire. Love you guys.
Coolest crew here in Austin. One of the best studios for sure. Body Spec is a body fat measurement spot. That's basically all they do.
Yeah.
They don't do anything else.
Well, they use a DEXA scan, which initially is a bone it's like a medical machine for bone density.
Yeah. When I was like in Bellevue training, 25, there was a DEXA spot, and it was for bone density. It was like $200 to get, because back then that's all it was for.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to go in, you still had to pay the price that you would normally have to pay. But now DEXA scans are so cheap.
$60.
Yeah. And if you get two, maybe they're like 30 a piece or whatever. You get a like deal and whatnot. So we both got our scans.
Yeah.
Like,
what did you learn from your DEXA scan?
I'm a fat bastard.
You got the report back. It just says fat is written in crayon. Like, fat bastard. It's written in French fry grease.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like the last year or two has been super stressful and whatnot. And I've just been so out of like my routine and just, yeah. So like, I feel like I'm finally like mentally and emotionally and physically like back into go mode. And so I was like, yeah, and we've done like a 10, 20 week challenge before in the house where we write on a whiteboard where my goal was to get lean and I literally gained 15 pounds. I was like, what the
so
absolute
funny.
fuck?
The
Each
goal
week I'm getting heavier.
The goal was to lose weight, and every week his weight kept going up. I was like, what the fuck are you
It's so
doing?
embarrassing to keep writing it. Like, I have to write it. I can't not write it. It's like, God damn it. This is good. Even a trainer, it can be a struggle. Like everyone has different periods in their life. So you see trainers or fit people, it's like, dude, you see all these 20-year-olds. It's like, dude, when you're 22, it's easy as fuck to just be in shape and work out and recover. And you can go drink on the weekend. I see 20-year-olds like fitness influencers like, oh, I think I'm going to cut down to like once a week drinking instead of like multiple times. And they're still like training 5 days a week, looking incredible. You're like, dude, you have no idea what it's like when you get older. And the key is when you get older, it's like the longer you're out of consistency, it takes so much longer to get back. You still have the muscle memory, but depending on if you're like naturally lean or heavier, it takes time to either get back to being lean if you're heavy or like, you know, getting your weight back up if you let your weight go away for a while. Like if you say you put on 20 pounds of muscle and you keep that for a couple of years, but then for a year or two, you let it go away. It's not going to be super easy. It'll be easier than if you never got it, but it's not going to be as easy if you just stay pretty consistent. So I'm like 252, 247 now, 26% body fat, which is, I feel like I look pretty good for being that fucking heavy. That's pretty fucking heavy.
You're at 26 now?
I guess.
And where do you want to be?
I think it's probably a little bit less based on, like I said, my lean muscle mass, like 176 maybe. I think I'm probably like actually 180 because like our scale says like a 10-pound difference. So which makes a little more sense. I don't know, shit. I'll just try to shoot for 10%. So I think that's like, I don't know. So it's like what, 40 pounds, right? So my goal is to be lifting 3 days a week, and I'm trying to add some kind of martial art back in. So I started at Warrior Muay Thai down in the South, and I'm trying to get that back up. But like that high intensity stuff is just like so fatiguing. I'm just trying to like get my body back used to it. My goal is like, I got this kind of idea when I'm like watching Rogan and then watching Peter Attia. Peter Attia said, like, if you want to be able to run 3 miles when you're like 80, you should be able to run like 20 when you're, 30, 40, right? Which makes sense. And it's like, why are you just trying to do the bare minimum? Why not just take your body to like the ultimate level? And if you just give it time, eventually you can maintain a crazy high load. Like my goal would be like, if I could train, twice a day, most days a week, that would be amazing. Like how crazy you could feel. And then if you ever did have to have a layoff, you had a surgery, you got ill or whatever, it's like your baseline is so amazing. It's like better than like most people's just normal workout schedule.
So by that logic, will you run a marathon?
No.
But you have to be able to run 24 miles.
No, I don't
want to run 3
no,
when
I don't
you're
want
70.
I don't want to run any miles. I want to run 0 miles.
So when you're 70 years old,
no, basically,
then you're going to run no miles.
No, the point is, if you want
I see you trying to spin this.
no, if you want to maintain so if you want to be able to lift 3 days a week and still train, you should be able to be doing like, 2 to 3x of what you're doing. Even though as you get older, your muscle mass goes down. And so like actually being able to run longer is easier when you're older, which,
what?
Yeah, it's easier because your body's ability, like if you're smaller and leaner and your muscle's closer to the mitochondria, it's easier to get oxygen in the muscle.
Powerhouse of the cell.
Exactly. And it's easier to do endurance stuff.
So
if you've been training.
You have more like slow twitch fibers when you're older, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Also, if you have bigger muscles, it's harder to get the oxygen into the mitochondria.
When you say older, you don't mean like 70 years old.
70, 80, yeah.
You're saying I can run, You're saying I can run better when I'm 70 years old than I can right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll be able to.
All right.
If you keep training. I don't think it'll, I mean, you may go really fucking slow.
Probably.
Yeah. So we got 20 weeks. We're on almost Tuesday will be 2. Week 2. We'll do it in 2 10-week blocks. Yep. That's about 5 months. So try to get down to 10%. And then you got your
It'll be good. My goal is going to be, I would like to hang out around 185 pounds. Right now I'm about 162-ish. So I feel like 185 at 10% body fat would be sort of like the musculature that I would want. But to get to 185 and be able to hang out there, I probably need to get to 200 first.
For sure.
And carry have a big old gut for a while and then slim that down to and it's funny getting over this almost insecurity of being big, like being fat. There's almost a resistance that I noticed.
That's what fucks a lot of guys up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't want to have a huge fucking gut.
So they're always in this limbo of like bulk cut, bulk cut, bulk. You just got to
send it.
You got to commit to the bulk.
You just got to get fat.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Be okay with being fat.
And lift. You can't just get fat.
Nope. I'm going to eat pizza and sit there. I'm not doing a goddamn thing. Yeah, no, you got to mix the strength with the fatness.
Yeah. So then what's your training schedule?
My training schedule. So I was doing the On It classes. We were both doing them together. And I love the On It classes. Honestly, if anybody's in Austin and they want a good training routine, just go to On It. Do the group classes. It's a small group personal training. It's pretty great. I've never really liked small group training until I went to On It.
Me neither. I don't really prefer it because most times programming is awful.
It's really terrible. But at On It, it's very good. Only thing that I don't like is they do fluctuate through, like they'll do a hypertrophy and a strength, and then they'll get into this like endurance cardio centric stuff. And when you're trying to gain weight and gain muscle, you just can't mix in all this cardio with your strength work. So I'm going to start focusing more. I'm working with a trainer now to focus specifically on barbell work and just strength. And I'm going to do that 4 days a week. And then I'll probably throw in a couple On It classes for fun.
Yeah. Craig, right?
Craig.
Yeah. We're going to have him on the podcast. He's old school, trained at Westside Barbell, and he's a wealth of knowledge. Mm-hmm. So it'll be super dope to have him on.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah. And then for diet-wise
is eat everything in front of me.
Zeke on speed dial?
Zeke burritos, I tell you what, it's a Mediterranean food truck, and they make the best Mediterranean burritos like gyro and shish-kebab chicken meat and basmati rice and these crispy little chickpeas. Oh my God, it's like 1,100 calories per burrito, and I can't stop eating them. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're so fast.
They're fast as hell, dude.
15 minutes, you'll get it right out from the truck.
Yeah, Uber Eats that thing, gets there immediately. It's fantastic. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret on a little weight gain. If you guys want to just pack on some calories, pack on some pounds. So eat a full dinner, like a big old protein-packed dinner with a bunch of carbs, a bunch of protein. And then for dessert, here's what you're going to do. Because I've noticed this. Even if you're full, you have room for dessert. Mm-hmm. You're only full for savory food. Dessert is a whole other thing that you have like a second stomach where you can just eat more dessert. So
that's interesting.
Don't discount desserts, you guys. So for dessert, after a big dinner, what I'll do is a bowl of cereal, usually like a protein cereal. Try to go a healthier route. Like there's one called 3 Wishes. You can get it at Whole Foods, and it's like a chickpea based.
It's hella good.
Yeah, it's hella good. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles or Fruity Loops or whatever. And it's just got like 5 ingredients, mainly chickpeas. It's not packed with a bunch of processed bullshit. So I usually have that. It's high protein. Don't get me wrong, this is not going to be healthy. And then you scoop about a half a pint of ice cream into the cereal. And then for the milk, you mix up a nice protein shake and you use that as your milk. So you got hyper protein, super sweet, super delicious dessert. And you get another like 35 grams of protein, 40 grams of protein, and a bunch of calories. And it's basically like second dinner.
I see this all the time with clients and their kids, whether they're like little or like in sports in high school. They keep trying to feed them too healthy. It's like the kid's playing like 3 hours every day.
Yeah, he's not going to survive on carrot sticks.
And he has a 16-year-old's metabolism. You can't keep feeding him sweet potatoes and chicken. Like you could literally need to start giving him fast food or something. Like, and the kid's going to be fine. It's only for a period of time to get his weight up. You know, like, yeah, you got to give him cereal. You got to give him the like stuff that's more processed. Just healthier-ish versions.
You guys, this is coming from a professional trainer. Yeah, so like, feed your kid McDonald's.
But you need, like, obviously stay away from like trans fats. But like higher sugars or higher glycemic stuff is going to be good because you can eat more of it. That's what you want. You want the more calories.
I
And
think
if the more calories is like, whether you're trying to gain more muscle because you're trying to protect the kid like from injury, right? His heart and shit's going to be fine. Like think of all the shit we ate 80s, 90s, and we weren't athletes. We're just eating insane Velveeta cheese, Capri Suns, right? Now, if you're doing this with the intention of trying to gain weight and you're like lifting and playing sports, and they're probably putting on mostly lean muscle, it's like, it's fine.
I think the thing is, what gets people is you eat unhealthy, but then you don't burn off those calories. But if you're, like a high school athlete, I remember when I was in high school, I was on the rowing team, and you do 2-a-days. You wake up at 4 a.m, you go row in the morning, and then you go to school all day, and then you finish, and then you go to practice again. And like, I definitely was not eating enough, and I was super lean. You eat a breakfast, you eat a lunch at school, and then you eat a dinner. Like that's not enough for that much activity. So you do have to pack on a bunch of extra food. So if you're going to burn off those calories, then yeah, you can have some like not quote unquote super healthy
like
food.
just have like whole eggs, whole milk, like even like add cheese, like have more meats that have more fat in it, right? Cereal, like more easily processed carbs. It doesn't need to be like greasy pizza, stuff that's going to create digestional stress.
Yeah, don't eat poison. Like don't eat the actual like really processed stuff. Yeah.
It's
Just
got
eat
a bunch
like
of chemicals.
Eat more breads and carbs and stuff.
Yeah, like if like white rice, usually people can eat tons of white rice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but specifically jasmine white rice. That is the superior white rice.
Why is that?
Because it's the best. Listen, look at what I'm wearing. Jasmine white rice is the best white rice. Basmati is the peasant's rice. Do you understand? It is a disgusting rice, and nobody should eat it.
I used to eat basmati all the time.
Basmati's trash rice. It's dry. It's flaky.
Yeah, jasmine is the more fluffy.
It's fluffier. It's more flavorful.
Mm-hmm. Why do they call it jasmine rice?
Because it usually grows next to the jasmine flowers. Wow. No, I made that up.
What does basmati mean?
Peasant food. It's Hindi for peasant food.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 20-week challenge. Get big, get lean. That's what we got going on with that shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Any final thoughts?
I think we covered pretty much everything. I feel good. I feel like the spores know the
spores
inside of our lives. They've gotten to see behind the curtain. They know what's going on. Anything that you guys want to know about Brent and Tony, leave in the comments. Like you said earlier, we would greatly appreciate a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and share this with your friend. Even if you don't want to leave a review, you want to stay anonymous, just share with a buddy. That's the free way to leave a review.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for following.
Fun guys out.